Sarah, the mother of nations. Sarah, originally named Sarai, was the wife of Abraham and one of the most remarkable women in the Bible. Her story begins in the book of Genesis, where she is introduced as a woman of great beauty and faith, chosen by God to play a key role in his divine plan for humanity. Sarah lived with Abraham in Ur of the Chaldeans, a prosperous city in ancient Mesopotamia. When God called Abraham to leave his homeland and go to a place he would show him, Sarah followed without hesitation. Though she did not know where they were going, she trusted God's promise that he would make Abraham the father of a great nation. However, Sarah faced a deep personal struggle and she was barren. In her culture, not being able to bear children was a source of great sadness and shame. Years passed, and though God had promised Abraham a son, Sarah grew old without conceiving. In her impatience and pain, Sarah suggested that Abraham have a child with her maidservant, Hagar. Abraham agreed, and Hagar bore a son named Ishmael. But this decision brought tension and jealousy into their household. Despite her doubts, God's promise to Sarah remained firm. When Abraham was about 100 years old and Sarah was 90, God visited them again and declared that Sarah would soon give birth to a son. Sarah laughed in disbelief. She thought it was impossible at her age. Yet God said, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" And indeed, the impossible happened. Sarah conceived and gave birth to Isaac, whose name means laughter. Her joy was complete, and her faith was strengthened. What once seemed hopeless became a testimony of God's power and faithfulness. After Isaac's birth, Sarah protected her son's inheritance and asked Abraham to send Hagar and Ishmael away, ensuring that Isaac would be the heir of God's covenant. Though her decision was painful, God confirmed that Isaac was the chosen one through whom his promises would continue. Sarah lived to be 127 years old, the only woman in the Bible whose age at death is recorded. Abraham mourned deeply for her and buried her in the cave of Machpelah in Hebron, the first piece of land he ever owned in the Promised Land. Sarah's legacy is one of faith, perseverance, and redemption. Though she doubted at times, her story teaches that God's promises never fail, no matter how long they take to be fulfilled. In the New Testament, she is honored as a woman of faith, and all believers are called her spiritual descendants, the children of promise.